Like, you got lawyers that start to charge you $500 an hour to try to represent you. You got all of these fees in the courthouse, right? You got every step of the way is money. Peel off money. Peel off money, 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 money. And it's your child. Your child wants their freedom. You don't want your child ever to be in a situation where they're locked in a cage at 8x12 or 8x10. I don't know. Never been to prison. I've been to jail, but not prison. I've been locked up. I haven't been to jail. Where was I? I was in jail. That's another story. We'll get to that in another episode. I did push-ups and everything, but the point is, yeah, like Royale was locked up. But the point is,
So just grab a hold of my hand and do it till the morning light.
after I do.
Hello, party people. Welcome to another episode of After I Do. I want to introduce my handsome husband, Royale. He says that because when he introduced me, I always go, white. And I am April Watkins, one of the two in After I Do. So I wanted to talk about something today in a marriage or relationship when it comes to the children. I believe raising kids is always going to be a lot of work. But as they get older and they start developing these personalities and thinking on their own and doing what they want to do and puffing out their chest like, you can't tell me what to do, I think I'm only talking about our experience. If we can give you just a little bit of advice. And my advice would be to always remain a partnership. You and your husband are the CEOs of this ship. Like, of the partnership, it's you two. Meaning, do not let one or more kids get in the way of your parenting. You have to remain united. You know, it's not like mama let me do it, dad won't let me do it, or mom said this, mom said that. I just think that you have to go in it as a team, discuss it, you know, as they're starting to get older, good cop, bad cop, whatever you have to do. Do not let them get in the middle of your relationship, because at 18, more than likely, those kids are going to go away to school. Even if they stay home and go to school, at some point, they're going to leave you. And guess who you're left with? Your spouse, your significant other. So I want you to be mindful of that yes, you're there to raise those beautiful kids and, you know, send them off into the world as good people and steer them right and all of that. But when it comes to issues that may come up, I think that you have to figure out as a unit, as a team, how you're going to proceed with the issues, because there are going to be things thrown at you when you hear the saying "stay ready." It's not a joke, because raising toddlers, middle school kids up into junior high might be really simple, but when they start getting into high school and college, it's a whole nother can of worms. There are things that are going to come up, be it sex, drugs, school, grades, friends. You become an advisor whether you want to or not. And you think, oh, once they get older, I'm done with that. Well, I can't wait for them to get older. It really doesn't matter, because now we have college kids and we have college problems, whether it's paying the tuition, you know, roommates issues, professor issues. There's always something. And I'm telling you, you have to be unified. You have to be on the same page, because, again, do you want to jump in? There's a situation that we came up with that we couldn't have called it, you know, and it was very traumatic for us. We didn't really know how to deal with it because we really hadn't had this happen. And all you can do is go based on your maternal instincts, your natural instincts, and you don't know whether it's good or bad in that moment. You're just trying to cope and get through it. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's not always the best way, but you won't know until you get through the thing to say, how could I have handled that better?
So if when your children start to transition into young adulthood, they will, especially if they're going to college or if they're going into even the military. This is another interesting kind of space, because most people go, oh, my kids they can easily see their kids going off to college. But there's a ton of people who also have to manage and deal with separation anxiety, which is a whole other thing when their children go off into the military. And ultimately, it creates this distance between you and your child where they're not as available, and more importantly, you're not as available to them to help fix the problems, right? Isn't that ultimately kind of what we are dealing with, is like when they're 3,000 miles away, or if you have a child that's now in the Navy and they're on a aircraft carrier somewhere off in the middle of the Black Sea or where the body of ocean, you can't jump on a plane and jump in the ocean and swim to go fix your child's problem.
Right.
So you have to now kind of, and they're not full adults, right? They transitioning into, right, they're acting grown.
Yeah.
They're trying to do grown things, but they're not fully adults yet.
Right.
You hope that you have instilled enough stuff in them that when they find themselves in adult situations that are challenging, that they can call on to things, right? Or the mindset, or some of the disciplines, or the approach to problem solving. That's what I'm trying to get to. The approach to problem solving that you have kind of instilled in them, right? To give the best result, to come out of whatever this challenge or situation they're in with the best results. Now, you as a parent, you just don't know what's going to come your child's way.
You don't.
And there are many people that are dealing with many things, right?
Many things.
There are, parents. I know somebody right now that's dealing with their child being
at the wrong place at the wrong
time, accused of something, in jail, and now, I can't even imagine having to try to bail your child out of prison, right, or jail, and putting up your house, putting up your assets, and right, being pulled into something. We already have a justice system that's not built for people who look like us.
Right.
For brown, it's built to house. The prison industrial system is built for minorities. It's built for brown babies, right? To slave labor force. And so these minor infractions that they get pulled into, like you got lawyers that start to charge you $500 an hour to try to represent you. You got all of these fees in the courthouse, right? You got every step of the way is money. Peel off money. And it's your child. Your child wants their freedom. You don't want your child ever to be in a situation where they're locked in a cage at 8x12 or 8x10. I don't know. Never been to prison. I've been to jail, but not prison. I've been locked up. I haven't been to jail. Where was I? I was in jail. That's another story. We'll get to that in another episode. I did push-ups and everything, but the point is, y'all like, Royale was locked up. But the point is, when your child is in a situation and you want to help your child out of that situation, what do you call on? What resources do you have available to you? Who's in your circle? And I think to April's point, you have to be able to circle the wagons. You have to have the strength of your spouse first, right? You have to be on one accord, right? In the huddle, it's got to be one play drawn up. You can't be a house divided and, this person says this and now you're going to act this way, because your child won't have the strength of the resource that they're counting on to get them out of whatever situation that they're in.
Right. And to piggyback on what you said, in that huddle is your private huddle. Like, there's no one that should be able to break that huddle, because for me, and I think I can speak for Royale, I'm going to the end of the world. whether you think he did it or didn't do it or whatever, that is my child. I'm fighting for their life. Regardless, people make crazy decisions, and the point is, how do we get the best solution for this child, whether they have to pay a price or we're going to fight so hard where there is nothing other than a slap on the wrist or whatever. Whatever it is, I have to give it my 100% and keep the spirit of my child intact, because I'm quite sure that child already feels some sort of way, and your job as a parent is to uplift them no matter what, you know, and let them know.
Wrong?
Even if they're wrong, because even if they're wrong, they're going to pay a price, but I want my child alive no matter what. You understand what I mean? Like, I don't ever want my child to feel like this is the end of the world or whatever, because without being gruesome and raising a serial killer, I think that if they're going to get punished by the law, let it be a fair trial. We're going to do whatever. All I want is fairness. Whether they're going to do the time or not, give me the fair trial. And that's what I'm going to be fighting for. Sometimes it's not whether my kid is right or wrong. It's the process. Did they do the due diligence to give my kid a fair trial and process? If all the boxes are yes, and this is his fate, then I can't go bigger than that.
You said it's not about whether my child is right or wrong. It's about your child getting a fair shake.
Right.
So would you fight for your child knowing that they were wrong?
For the fair trial. Here's the thing. I understand right is right and wrong is wrong. I'm not going to be that child. If my kid murdered somebody on purpose, what I'm saying is I would just be fighting for him not to get death penalty. Can we have a fair trial? He did do this, but I want him to live his life knowing that he had a fair trial. You did this, and unfortunately, baby, I can't help you. What I don't want is for them to electrocute you or give you a lethal injection. You can live in the prison for the rest of your life. Maybe you can teach people there. While they're there, there's things that happen. They have kids that come in. Can you mentor? Can you find salvation? Can you ask for forgiveness? You can ask for forgiveness, but that's not going to change the outcome. You're never coming out. I don't want my child to die. I don't like eye for eye. You kill, you get killed. So that's what I'm saying. If the process is right, and, you know, he did it, I can't deny he did it. You know what I mean? But just don't give him jail time or, you know, don't give him due process because he did the thing. Let's go through it, because at the end of this, it's either going to be life in jail or, lethal injection or execution. So maybe that's what you're fighting for. Whatever the degree is, I'm getting really ahead of myself saying I'm thinking about the worst outcome, but I'm just saying it really doesn't matter because I'm a person about the principle and the process.
Okay, so principle and process, but knowing that your child was wrong, was guilty of something they were being accused of, would you throw all of the resources, like let's say, would you put up your house? Would you say, hey, we got to sell this jewelry, we got to sell the cars, because I want to give our son the best shot at this thing, even though we know he's guilty?
Yes, I would.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would do within my power. Let me put it that way. I would not put the other children in jeopardy of no house, no food, or whatever. Once I'm tapped out, I think I would be tapped out. So then I would go the route of finding pro bono, because everything, when these situations come up, it's like, who has the most time to give? So that means, are you sufficient in your livelihood where you have so much money? It doesn't matter if you go to work or, you know, you're not getting an income. Do you have enough to sustain while you're fighting this cause? So there are a lot of factors. If we have a whole lot of money and now I can go look for the best pro bono who's taking cases, all these charities, you know, nonprofit organizations helping people out. How can we muster up or gather up enough help to get the pro bono part done maybe with a little bit of our money, but I also have to understand I have grandchildren, I have other children. I'm not going to let us be penniless. I think I'm a very rational and clear thinking individual where I wouldn't do that. But yeah, if it costs a little bit of money to get him a fair trial, I would probably do it. Am I going to break the bank? I probably would not. I would not break the bank. So that's my thing. And I just would want to keep their spirits up. And there's different levels. There's going to be sex in school. There's going to be drugs. There's going to be so much stuff you come up to, and you could tell your kid, don't text, no sexting, no this, no that. But in the moment, they're going to do whatever they feel is right because they think they're not going to get caught, and you cannot prevent that. And now another thing I would say, don't have these expectations on these kids because you wouldn't do it, they wouldn't do it. You just don't know. You can tell them, and it seems, they'll be like, oh, I already know. But sometimes it's the one you don't say that they go and do. You know what I mean? So you don't want to keep running down this laundry list. Don't do this and make sure you say this and go dot this I and cross this T. You just have to feel good that you're sending them out in the world. And sometimes something will come back that will really jar you.
I'm stuck on, I'm sorry, but the sexting